Yeah, that's the spot. A sim says he saw 10, 15 of them, a little bit past the old safe zone.
I want you to go.
You're the boss.
We need to know who they are. Maybe even see if they're willing to trade. Just keep your distance until you can make a call.
Who are?
A group of survivors out beyond the old safe zone. Some kind of caravan.
Are they bad people? How about you back me up, and we'll find that out together.
We can't be scared to reach out and try to work with other survivors. There's not many of us left.
So one of the biggest mysteries of The Walking Dead final season's 4th episode, Take Us Back, is this mysterious caravan group that was mentioned at the end of Take Us Back. Now remember, this only would happen if you trusted AJ to where Lewis or Violet would survive. The dialogue's a little different between Lewis and Violet, and we'll be discussing that in this video, but if you don't trust AJ and Tennessee lives, it's not mentioned. So does that detract from the importance of it? Potentially. But this caravan group, there's not much known about it, and a lot of people think there is a potential that Javier, Christa, Molly, some returning character could be leading this group. But again, as Violet had said there, if you get Violet alive, there's about 10 or 15 of them. And they're also past the old safe zone. So this is the beginning, the transformation of Erickson's boarding school, which is why I think it could be expanded on in the future. In the past, with Marlon's leadership, they were always avoiding contact with other communities, hiding. And now with Clementine taking over officially, after all the events that happened in this final season, she wants them to expand, trade, get to know people more in this world. And this is why I said The Walking Dead could expand past Clementine. Could we be playing in a potential 5th season DLC, this caravan group? Or maybe we play as AJ with Violet/Lewis. They can do it. They've done determinants with Lewis and Violet since episode 2. So it's either you go with Lewis or Violet in this case, and maybe that's where they could open up this DLC or 5th season with, you know, AJ taking the reins with a potential Lewis or Violet meeting this caravan. I think this seems more likely to be a DLC. But the importance of Tennessee, if Tennessee is alive, this is never mentioned. The caravan's never mentioned. Clementine never sees it. You know, we don't have a simmer. I mean, maybe it's still mentioned, and maybe they just don't talk about it. But remember, Lewis is gonna be without his tongue, and Violet is gonna be, you know, blind in one eye. So I don't really know if Clementine's gonna send anyone out to go find this caravan. Maybe it'll be AJ in Tennessee. I don't know if they'd ever do that, because I don't think Clementine would risk, you know, Tennessee going out in the open like that. But it starts to really make you think what this caravan could be. Who's in it? What's their role? Could they be bad, good? Because we really haven't gotten really an expansion on the Walking Dead world in this season, other than what we knew with Lily and the Delta and that community in the north they were fighting, and what happened with the ranch and all this. So let's start to talk about maybe who could be in this caravan. Let's start to maybe talk about a little bit with the dialogue that we've gotten of it. So as I mentioned, there's 10 to 15 members of this caravan. They're not listed as good or bad. We haven't met them yet, and Clementine wants to trade with them. And AJ is going to go with either Lewis or Violet. There are a potential couple people that have been brought up consistently in my comment section that people think could be in this caravan. The first, and probably the one I've seen the most, is Javier / the Garcia family. If Richmond was potentially destroyed, which is very possible, could they be in this caravan group? Could Javier be leading a group outside the safe zone? It's very possible. I'm assuming Clementine is very close to Richmond. They can't be that far away. So maybe there's a chance that Clementine could run into Javier again. The second possibility is Christa. Christa is known as, she's unknown in this world. So could they potentially have her in this caravan? Very possible. Again, it wasn't listed whether she's dead or alive. We don't even know about that. Molly is another one. Again, her story left open. She escaped. No matter what would happen in episode 4 of season 1, we don't know about her fate as well. So those are some names. Even Mike / Arvo, potentially. the whole circumstance of this is if they're good or evil. And again, the wiki states that the game is set kind of like in West Virginia, so since they're being past the old safe zone and we go look at the map here, we actually could maybe take an idea where they're at, possibly. So Lewis mentioned if he was alive, they were past the traps a little bit, and Violet mentions they're past the safe zone. So we can take the assumption, if we look at the map here, that they are probably somewhere near the river, or they could be the right. Remember, Marlon had mentioned there was a valley to the right of, you know, where the hunting grounds are all there. So it looks by the hunting grounds. With Lewis saying the traps and Violet saying outside the safe zone, it looks like they're probably past the traps area, a little past that little stream of water, maybe by the road near the train station. So this is why I think, and the caravan probably is going left around the map. So you could potentially have still a group that could randomly run into the school. And again, with The Walking Dead final season ending and a potential, like I said yesterday, with the Walking Dead game potentially coming, this caravan is very likely to pop up or have some kind of reference. If there is, for example, let's just say that hypothetically there's a season 5 and Clementine's not involved, maybe we play as this caravan and we never run into them. Maybe we run into Lewis and AJ, or Violet and AJ potentially, but we're not going to see Clementine. Maybe just as a reference, or maybe it's like a time skip and the caravan mentions, remember those 2 people we saw from that one group at the school. We could get a reference, could see them potentially, but it's very possible. So this is just an initial discussion, guys. I want you guys to leave down below in the comments, do you guys think the boarding school group we have right now is going to get a DLC or a 5th season potentially involved with this caravan? Or do you think we're going to play as this caravan? Do you think potentially worlds could collide and we could get a, you know, another Walking Dead, maybe an open world game where, you know, Clementine and the boarding school are brought into this world and, you know, we get involved with the caravan in some possible way. So hopefully they're friendly and we can get some trading off. The intent of this, from Ken Mellow's Tumblr, he'd answered a question about the caravan. He said, hope was intended. I wanted that beat so you'd see Clem starting to act as a leader in peacetime, as we really only seen her in war at the toll points. Of course, always possible something bad happens, but I'd like to think Clem will work to grow Erickson with goods, people, trade routes, communities, and so on. Maybe even the school becomes kind of sort of refugee. Maybe there's a possibility where the school becomes like kind of like a safe zone in the future, though. And we'll have to see that. But now that the Walking Dead world, kind of like in the comic, you know, part where it is right now, it's kind of like larger communities. And now, you know, it's not just about random groups of survivors on, you know, living out on their own. So the idea that the ending is that Clementine gets to join that world too. So Clementine's joined this world of trading communities and all that. So I want you guys to leave me down below in the comments. What would you guys like to see if this caravan ever is put into a Walking Dead game? Do you want it in a DLC, Season 5, maybe a mention of it in another Walking Dead game? Let me know your thoughts down below. And we'll be talking about more about this when I start going into, you know, the future Walking Dead content starting next week. So keep an eye out, Evolution and Clementine video coming in the next day or 2. Stay tuned for that. I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys smack a like to this up. Let's go for 1,000 likes. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace.
Days I've spent just trying to unwind, sitting on the steps. I'd buy a star in your name like I